cannot believe I hate cow milk so much. But then I hate myself for loving almond milk this much.
I gotta say, I have loved this show since the start, and as many have probably told you over the past month, very bittersweet to see it going with this season. Now, TV endings are never a guaranteed thing, but at the same time, some creators do go into a show with an end game in mind. And so I'm curious, going into this, if you had one, and if so, how it may have changed throughout the course of this show.
Great question. What I knew was that Harry had to leave. I knew that I couldn't get him to leave until he learned his lessons about humanity and got as human as effectively we were going to get him, which we were able to do. But I also knew I knew the whole cast had to be there. I'm not sure why that would, I'm not 100% sure why I knew that, but part of it was there was a event that happened on the pilot where we were all shooting, and one of the days we were shooting, but people were wrapping at different times, and we were all staying in the same hotel. But when I arrived back from set, there was two of the cast were there, and we started. Oh, it was one of their birthdays, I think, and then maybe Sarah Tomko's birthday was coming up, so we started singing "Happy Birthday." And by the time the Happy Birthday song ended, 5 more cast members, not together, but separately, entered and came in. One came through an elevator, one came down a set of stairs, 2 came from outside, having gotten food. Like in a span of 3 minutes or 2 minutes, just somehow miraculously most everyone was together again. And it was the weirdest, most ridiculous thing in the world, because it wasn't planned. It just was coincidence. And at the end of it, we took a picture, but it was one of the craziest things. And in that moment, I'm like, the show has to end with everyone being together. And it is fitting because over the years that we did this, from the pilot to the end, everyone was incredibly close and hung out outside of work and supported each other and at work and outside of work. And it was really only fitting by the end that everyone was together to see Harry go.
And it was such an emotional farewell to see him take off. But if anything, that's that moment, the birthday moment, was the universe's way of telling you had the right group, and this was all going to be great.
That's 100% right. I agree with that.
Now, talking about this great ensemble, though, obviously coming into season 4, that meant you had a lot of arcs to sort of close, or at least bring close enough to an end that, might have taken some other shows seasons versus just one season. I'm curious for you, did you find any arc needed to be maybe sped up a little bit going into the writing process for season 4?
It's a great question. A little bit. I mean, what has happened over the years on the show is that with more characters being added, it just gets bigger, and you're telling more stories, but you're spending less time on each of them. So one of the things that I knew that we needed to do was probably finish the Linda Hamilton, Jennifer McAllister story a little early. The Joseph story with Enver Gyochaj, finished that early. And we did that on purpose to give them, an appropriate send-off from the show, but also so that I had time to tell the stories of the rest of the cast. So there was probably more General McAllister to play there. Although I think that character had gotten to a place where you could effectively say this is the end, or put her in a place where someday she can come back, if we did a movie or something. But yeah, those I could have milked those a little bit more, but it just didn't work out with the way the season was, with 10 episodes. If I had 2 seasons left, it would have been different a little bit. But that being said, I didn't really have to shortchange the storylines to get to the end. I think we were kind of closer than we thought as far as getting people to a place where we can leave the season knowing that they're in a better place now than they were at the beginning before Harry showed up. I mean, Darcy's a great example. I as a viewer, with her, feel she had to break at some point and get to her rock bottom in order to for us to feel like, oh, she's going to be okay now. She's at least on the right path. It's not like she's not going to have challenges, but she's on the right path to find her happiness. Asta is now on her right path to find her happiness. She has gone through enough in this season to get her to a place where she starts realizing, oh, maybe I need to leave Patience and see what else is out there. So character by character, we had to, find out what it is to make them feel whole enough to at least believe from an audience standpoint that they're going to be happy. Even Ben, by the end, the small, screaming at an alien child in the streets of Patience was his small way of standing up to the aliens. And you get the sense of like, okay, he's at least facing them now, So everyone's taking that step forward where you feel a little bit better about their future.
And hopefully that means if Mike and Liv come back to visit, he'll put his foot down a little more with where they're at.
Which is to me is one of the funniest. It's always the Ben trying to be strong to Mike is always one of the funniest things in the world. So I would look forward to that if we have the opportunity ever to do that.
That was a great dynamic to watch. And so not that I want to, immediately start talking about revivals and whatnot, but at the same time, I mean, you've set up Mike and Liv to almost have their own X-Files type series. And sure. We've got Peter and Robert almost within that same organization to maybe team up with them. Sure. I mean, have you had any, I'm sure you have, but like, have you had any serious sit downs and scribblings of where this universe could go beyond Harry and Asta's story?
No, not yet. I mean, it's all sort of there, though. I mean, it's and I knew in writing that stuff with Mike and Liv, I mean, everyone's going to think, well, that's clearly the spinoff, right? I mean, it seems very obvious that almost writes itself, whatever that's going to be. So there's possibilities out there. I haven't sat down to figure any of them out. I mean, the best version of all those is Resident Alien, and that just got finished. So I'd like to think there's a future for these stories. I do think that, doing a movie at some point is certainly possible, if not probable. I would certainly be open someday if someone came and said, hey, let's do a movie, or let's do a 6-episode limited series. Where are they now? What's going on in their lives? It would be a very fun arc where you could do a story beginning, middle, and end and tell another season worth of a story there. It's all built in. There's more stories to tell. This one story that we just told finished about Harry sort of gaining his humanity enough at least so we understand why he's leaving. But he's still Harry. He still calls Max a dickhead, and he's still funny and ridiculous. And look, I'm in my 50s. I haven't figured out what it's like to be human yet. We spend our lives trying to figure it out. Harry hasn't figured it out yet. He's just a lot further along than he was when he started. So there's a lot more story to tell. There are new stories to tell. I don't know if we'll ever get the opportunity to tell them, but I think we'd at least get the chance to do a movie at some point.
Well, I would love to see that, much like Winona Earp just got a spin-off movie, much like Monk and Psych keep getting them. I hope exactly. You guys get them because...
Yeah, the topic has come up, and I talked to USA about it, and that was their answer. That's what we do. I mean, we've done Psych and Monk, and they definitely are open to it. So I would expect that probably to happen at some point.
Well, in that case, then I'm going to keep banging the drum about this show as much as I can to ensure that interest is spoken to the network gods.
I appreciate that. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt for them to know people love the show. It helps. So I appreciate that.
I'll be happy to do so. But in the meantime, Chris, I hope you have a great rest of your week and weekend. And truly, you've done an incredible job with this show, as everybody else did. And so thank you for delivering this show and for taking the time to chat with me about it.
Thanks, Grant. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Take care.
I know the important thing is I tried to help people.